What is up, guys? Welcome back to Habs podcast, guys. I know it's been a long time. I hope you guys didn't miss us too much. We're so sorry for being inactive recently. It's just we've been busy a lot, but we're finally back. Um, and yeah, and what a trade deadline it was today.
Yeah, we're back with the trade deadline review. So many trades today, so many crazy trades. Honestly, it was one of the wildest trade deadline, perhaps the wildest in my life. And but quiet trade deadline for the Montreal Canadiens. Zero trade today. The biggest trading news for Montreal is more of an extension with Jake Evans extending for 4 years and 2.85 million. What do you think about the Montreal Canadiens staying with the same path, not selling and not buying either?
Yeah, I love it, man. Like we're building a really good culture in Montreal. You must say Kent Hughes has been doing a great job, and to me, like Jake Evans, man, like what a great guy. He left a lot of dollars on the table.
Yeah,
Like that contract is a steal.
he took a discount. In my opinion,
Yeah,
massive discount. And Kent Hughes said in the press conference after the trade deadline that he told his team that if they're going to win games, if they're going to be in the playoff race, then he will give them a reward by not trading anyone and keeping the same group. And I like that philosophy. They deserve a second chance, and we have enough picks. What's the point of trading Armia for like a third round pick? There's actually no
yeah.
point. That's better just to keep him till the end of the season, trying to get the most win possible is good for the confidence, for the culture, and hopefully stay in that playoff race for the longest time possible. But do you think we have a shot at the playoffs after seeing what other teams did at this deadline, or do you think we're going to miss it?
That's a good question, man. And I love to be optimistic, but like the race is so tight. But like we have a chance. That's all we all know. But
Yeah,
like
because we're playing with
I
a
don't
lot of
know,
heart,
man.
but like you said, like
Yeah,
maybe it's not realistic, because there are other
yeah,
teams. But
yeah.
important is just stay in the race the longest possible.
Yeah, and like like there's so many teams. Like it's so weird. Like I never seen this, but like the playoff race is so tight.
Oh
Like I
yeah.
never seen this in my life. Like
And
honestly
I have
crazy.
a question for you about the Montreal Canadiens. So it concerns the second center position and Owen Beck. So what do you do with that situation? Do you keep playing Beck 5 minutes a game as a center, or do you put a guy like Newhook at center, or do you call up a guy from the IHL like Laurent Dauphin or something? What do you do with that?
Yo, I mean, honestly, like it's working, right? So why not just test it out? Like it's something is clearly working because like we haven't lost in regulation yet. So I'll keep it for now. But like obviously, you're right. Like if we somehow make the playoffs, like I don't think
I
Owen
don't
Beck
think
will be
it's
like,
sustainable,
yeah,
realistically. I would put Newhook at center, like it or not. Just put
yeah.
Newhook at the center, put Beck winger, and then eventually, if you feel like Beck needs a little bit more time in Laval, then send him to Laval. Call up another player. But like I said,
I
it
mean,
all
in my
depends
opinion,
of where we are result wise.
yeah, in my opinion, like it's obviously something is working, but like if I was Martin Saint Louis, I'll probably put New Hook at center, like you said. I'll probably put Heineman at the beside him, and probably move Beck at the fourth line.
Oh, okay. But don't you think if he didn't get a lot of minutes, if he doesn't get a lot of minutes, it will affect his development, or do you think it is fine because we can just send him to Laval for the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it's fine because like we can just send him to Laval and Paul Dauphin
Yeah,
or
you're right.
Condotta.
You're right. Um,
Or like why not Pezzetta? Like this dude is getting no
yeah,
minutes.
yeah, for real.
Like,
Like, I do think eventually we're gonna need to find a solution with that. But I agree with you that as long as we keep getting those big points, we can just stay with the same lineup. But like it won't last, and we'll need to find a solution.
and yeah, and also, what do you think about earlier this morning we saw Kaden Gooley was at Brossard in the skate
Yeah.
for practice.
Well, can't you say in the press conference that if the Habs stay in the playoff race, we might see Caden Gooley this season, even a bit before the playoffs. But he also said that if the team falls off, and doesn't stay as good, doesn't stay in the race, then it's for sure Gooley's done for the season. So it's all going to be
Yeah,
about those results. It's
yeah,
that's
that's
really what
it's,
is it.
gonna- it's going to be interesting to see what's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, and I really do hope they make the playoffs.
Yeah,
So now let's move on to what happened around the league today. so many blockbusters, starting with the Mikko Rantanen trade. He's been sent to Dallas and extended for 8 years at 12 million per year. And in exchange, Carolina got Logan Stankoven, a 22-year-old player, two first-round picks for a conditional top 10 protected, a 2026 third-round pick, and a 2027 third-round pick. Um, could we say that Rantanen kind of screwed over Carolina a bit?
Yeah, I have a question for you though. Like, I just want to know, like, what is Carolina doing? Like I thought they went for Rantanen, and I thought, okay, they're going for a playoff push. I mean, not for a playoff push, for a chance to win the cup because they're obviously like I think second in the Metro. Um, and like now you just trade away Natchez, and you only get picks and a prospect. Like, I really don't understand what they're doing here, but
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, I don't understand. But at the end of the day, I think on the Dallas end, like, I think it's a good deal, but like, I don't know about the extension. I think that's a lot of money for a guy
Oh
like
yeah.
Ranton, and like I think it's decent, but like I don't know. Like, I feel long term they're gonna
You
probably
know,
break the
I
bank.
understand your point. Me, like, I can't help but question, like, like you said, Caroline, I don't understand what you're doing, and I think it speaks volume about Rod Brindamour and his way of coaching this team. Coaching a more defensive style, and I think Rantanen just didn't fit in that team. And I think also with Genzo, the same thing last year, he didn't resign. So I think Carolina, if I was their GM, I would just like get this team good defense, but also get them a good offense. And I would tell Brindamour to just let the players play and don't exactly do a kind of system defensively. Just pick up good players, get a better offense because Carolina constantly they have goal scoring problems in the playoffs from time to time. So I think they really should just fix that roster properly. And like you said, they traded Natchez for basically no reason. Like, who cares about the future? Like, this is your contending window. So, like you said, I don't know what Carolina is doing, honestly. But as for Dallas, wow, great deal for them. And now they have an insane offense. And I do think the extension, the fact that he signed with Dallas, that means probably he signed for a bit less than he could have gotten, for example, on a team which state doesn't have any taxes. Um, have taxes, I mean, because Texas doesn't have taxes. So that's why he only signed for 12 million when it was rumored he could have gotten 14 million. But I think it's a great pickup for Dallas, and I think their top nine is the best top nine in the league because like it's crazy. Like, look at that depth, like Rantanen, Marchand, Duchesne, Jason
Yeah,
Robertson, Whitehat Johnston, who also extended today. Wow, I mean, great pickup for Dallas, and I think
yeah, insane.
actually a clutch playoff player also.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree with you.
So now let's move on to another shocking trade. Brad Marchand to the Florida Panthers for a conditional 2027 second round pick, which could become a first round pick if Brad Marchand plays in more than 50% of Florida's playoff game. What a trade! What a surprising trade! And is this the beginning of the downfall of the Boston Bruins?
Bro, like, I really can't believe what you said right now. Like, to just hear you say that, like, it's just insane. Like, Marchand is not a Bruin. Like, what? Like, that's it's just insane. Like, it's just insane to me. And he's going to a division rival too. Like, it's not
Yeah.
like he's going to the same division.
And
Like,
he's going to a team who eliminated Boston in the last 2 years. And he's going to be
yeah, this
joining Matthew Kachuk and Sam Bennett. I mean, incredible,
uh
incredible.
7 minutes. Yeah.
But
Yeah, he was his teammate at the Four Nations
yes,
with Canada.
but
So
I have a question for
yeah.
you. Like, what does that tell you about the Bruins? Like, they also traded Carlo. We're going to talk about that later. But what does that tell you about them? Like, to trade their captain, who sure was a rental, but still you trade him. Are they like starting a rebuild? But we can't even say that because they have Prime Pasternak, they have McAvoy, they have Swayman. So like, what are they doing?
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, do you think they're gonna like build around Pasternak or like like in a retool or like are they gonna rebuild? Like, I
It,
really don't know
it's
what's gonna
confusing.
happen.
I
But they,
think if you ask me my personal position, if I was Boston, I would retool. I would retool because
Yeah,
you have prime Pasternak. You
yeah,
like I don't know. Like sometimes rebuild just it takes too long, and like they
yeah,
still have the pieces and they still have a lot of picks. So I would just have a strong off season, try to get some players. But I don't understand why they didn't extend Marchand. I don't care how much he asked. Like he's your captain. I'm sure they could have found a deal. So I was a little bit
yeah.
surprised by this. But wow, I mean, do you think Florida now are gonna go on a run?
Oh yeah, I mean, they were already my favorites to win the cup, and I think like, they. I mean, I don't think like it's an like major upgrade, but it's still an upgrade. Like you still get Brand Marchand. He's a playoff for.
Oh yeah,
He's gonna perform in the playoffs. Like
yeah.
I know it's not prime Marchand, but he's still Marchand.
And
Like
an end of an era in Boston. It's actually crazy. So the team 2 years ago had Bergeron, Marchand, and Krejci, and now they're all gone. And I saw a
yeah,
tweet: "It's the first time since 2002 that they have a roster without Zdeno Chara, Marchand, or Bergeron in it, or Krejci." So that's it for the era. Wow. Well,
well, yeah,
anyways, now let's move on to the next trade. So a huge trade, actually, a hockey trade. It's the kind of trades you see normally in the offseason between Buffalo and Ottawa. Josh Norris
yeah.
and Jacob Bernard Docker are going to Buffalo for Dylan Cousins, Denis Gilbert, and a 2026 second round pick. What are your thoughts about this trade?
I think Ottawa wins this straight, man. Like I
Easily.
really don't
What is
understand.
Buffalo doing?
Like,
What
like
is
what?
Buffalo?
Yeah, what is Buffalo doing? Like, you give up on a guy after one bad performance of a season.
Yeah.
Like, what is going? And like, they got Josh Norris. That isn't like. Yes, he's good. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but like, compared to Cousins and like he's an injury prone. Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think Ottawa did it. Got a legitimately second line center, and it's gonna help them for a playoff push here.
Totally. I just want to add, like, Renaud Lavoie said something really interesting. He said Buffalo is like the IHL team of the NHL. Like, what is this? They trade their star players to certain teams and then they go on to win the Stanley Cup. Brandon Montour was traded to Florida. Sam Reinhart was traded to Florida. They both won the cup. Zach Eichel was traded to Vegas. He won the cup. Like, what is this? Like, they can't keep trading players. Oh, and also, I forgot
Yeah,
Ryan O'Reilly. Also, he was traded. He won the cup in St. Louis. So like they
yeah,
keep doing this. Like I don't understand what is the point of this. I think like you said, Josh Norris is injury prone. And what surprises me is that Buffalo is the team giving the second round pick in this trade. Like what? It
yeah,
should be the opposite. It should be the opposite.
yeah.
It's
Exactly.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
And this kind of trade has me worried as a Montreal Canadiens fan. I was a big a fan of Cousins, and I wanted the Habs to get him. But obviously, we
yeah,
don't really have a Norris on this team. But at the same time, it's not good because those are our divisional rival fighting for the playoffs
yeah,
with us for maybe a lot of years to come. But it's Buffalo. Like wow, like this
yeah, and
organization needs to lock in and find a solution because like
yeah,
this
and
is
soon,
ridiculous. Like wow.
and I won't be surprised. Yeah, and I won't be surprised if this offseason Darlene goes away. Like
Yeah,
at this
you
point,
must be so fed up of playing for that Buffalo team. It's just
yeah,
completely crazy, man.
yeah.
But do you think? Wait, just before we move on, do you think Ottawa is a playoff team now?
Um, I think they're gonna sneak in that wild card spot over Detroit and Montreal, and
Oh yeah,
yeah, I think Ottawa's gonna make the playoffs. I
I
mean, I don't
agree.
think because of that change necessarily, but I feel like it does add their a better depth to them
I think
in
Columbus
the
is
top.
going to fall off a cliff. Like with all due respect, like I don't think Columbus is going to stay in that hunt. I think the Rangers are going to make it into the first wild card and the Sens in the second wild card from a non-BS perspective. But yeah, uh,
So wait, so yeah. So you think the Rangers and Ottawa's gonna make it?
yes, Rangers and Ottawa. But
Yeah,
what about you? What
same.
about you?
Yeah. I completely agree with you, man. Like I exactly think the same thing's gonna happen. But I honestly think like I won't be surprised if Detroit makes it. To be honest.
Yeah, you never know. But yeah, before
Yeah.
we stop this video, can you quickly tell me like what would you do if you were the Buffalo Sabres? Like at this point, like I they
You said
keep
what?
just what would you do if you were the Buffalo Sabres because they keep like going in the wrong direction, with those trades, and they keep
I mean,
drafting players and trading them for others, and
I think they just need to be patient and build a culture like Montreal did.
yeah,
I don't know how to explain.
no,
It just shows the difference.
I agree. Well, thank you for watching, and we'll have a part two.